I remember that my kids wanted me to play and I didn't even have the energy to do that. Like getting up and doing small tasks just felt like such a chore. My clothes didn't fit the way that I wanted to. My hair didn't look good. My skin was full of acne. And so really being able to turn my lifestyle around and utilizing, supplementation definitely, because the way that we practice farming these days, we don't have the nutrients that we need in our food. So supplements, getting my hormones straight, exercising, sleeping 8 hours. I mean, it truly is life-changing. And then being able to get my lab work done, see the trends, see where I was moving. I was diagnosed with things like PCOS and metabolic dysfunction, where they literally said to me, you will forever have diabetes.
Wow.
I for
Wow.
sure don't.
All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I'm really excited today because we're doing some live interviews out at Board of Advisors, but I wanted to pull aside someone I've been trying to get for a while. She's got a crazy schedule, and so I'm really excited to be able to be in studio with Christie Steiger today. How are you doing, Christy?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is good because I have some topics that I've been wanting to talk to you about, but this will be a chance for individuals. If you're listening to this, you're obviously tuning in because you're looking for clarity, focus, and discipline. You're trying to take your business and your life to the next level. And a topic that I've been constantly talking about is optimization and finding ways to be able to really get to that optimal level you can to grow your business, yourself, your personal life. And so, Christy, innovative wellness and some of the amazing things that you're going to be doing, start by just giving a bit of a background of where you came from and what you currently do before we get into all the amazing stuff we're going to be doing.
Yeah. So a little bit about me. I have a college degree in business, and I was a financial planner with my 6 and 63, got sick 10 years ago, and I exhausted all of the medical system in Des Moines. Nobody could figure out what was wrong. And the type of person that I am is the doctors just kept saying, once you have a child, you might just feel like this. And I just couldn't accept that answer. So I went back to school to get a functional medicine certificate that took me 3.5 years, and stayed home with my kids and just wanted like this little part-time gig. So I just helped people a few hours a week to have extra spending cash. And what I found is that everybody wanted help. Like nobody felt well. And my practice just grew and grew and grew. And so we just had to make a decision. We were going all in and going to open a medical center, or I had to step away.
So you did it out of need, and then you went down this rabbit hole of information and help and assistance for people that were just not feeling 100%. And it kind of forced you down the path of opening up a clinic. And now what have you gotten it to? Like, where have you gone? How long ago was that you started the clinic?
So our medical center has been open for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now you have this growing demand, and we got a bunch of things that we're going to be talking about, but your need that you filled, talk to me really quick about the people that you work with and see every day. Who are the people that you talk to? Who are the people that you help? Because we have a lot of people listening to this podcast that are entrepreneurs, CEOs, high achievers, individuals operating at a high level that are dealing with all kinds of problems. And what would you recognize some of those problems as? People that you're helping?
Yeah. So the people that have always come to me have been people that are more of an executive athlete. It's a cash pay clinic. It's not covered by insurance. So people that can afford to pay for their medical services out of pocket, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's people that can't find answers. They'll literally come to me with binders full of lab work that they've had done over, some people 5 to 10 years, and nobody can give them an answer. The only thing that they're told is that you're going to live like this for a long time, whether that's chronic gut issues, chronic pain, chronic headaches, inability to sleep, brain fog, weight gain. We see it all.
Yeah.
So the symptoms are always there, but people know that that's not what God has in store for them, and they know there has to be a better way.
Yeah, and they've been dealing with these problems for a while, and they're not getting any help because most of the doctors and people they've seen are trying to treat things or don't have answers for them, right? So you've got a pretty big passion for this, and you've started to see some amazing results, but tell us a little bit about what you do for these people and what kind of process you use to be able to help them to identify the real problems.
Yeah, so we use more comprehensive labs. There's markers on there that are going to give us really identifiable markers within their lab work to show, are their hormones out of whack? Are they detoxifying? Do they have proper nutrients? Are they methylating? And all of those components are really important. When we're looking at a case, you want to dump all the puzzle pieces out on the table and then with functional medicine, we can strategically look at how everything is interconnected and why the body's functioning that way. And then in addition to that, we also use quantum technology. So
Okay.
I've used that for 8 years. And it's my favorite tool because it really taps into the inside of the cell and gives that snapshot where all of our vibrancy comes from is in our cell. That's why
Yeah.
peptides are amazing. People love NAD. We like talking about mitochondria because all of that impacts our vibrancy. So with quantum testing, we can actually access that and we can figure out right away where the stressors are. Is it mold? Is it parasites? Is it viruses that aren't dormant? Like what's going on and what do we need to put back to sleep so that the body can then come alive?
Wow, this is so crazy because I think a lot of people are very excited about optimizing health and peptides and a lot of things that you've kind of mentioned here. But let's back up for a minute. Quantum. When people hear that term, they think, whoa, what is that? Like quantum level, quantum mitochondria. You kind of threw some things out. Let's back up for a minute because you said a couple of things. First of all, very specialized testing. I think it's important to note that every individual is different, right? And so
Absolutely.
that's one of the challenges that's trying to get solutions for everything. How important is the individualized testing? And then lead me into this idea of quantum testing and what you do with quantum. So individual and then into the quantum for me.
Yeah, so individual testing is super important. You need to know your own biochemistry. You need to know where you're trending, where you're going. And what's really awesome about me owning a medical clinic is I actually got to submerge myself into providers' worlds without them realizing it.
Yeah.
I would just shadow the providers that work for us and see. So they would get lab work back on a patient, and we knew the patient's symptoms. They're sitting right there telling us they don't feel good. And then I would simply ask them, "What do you think is wrong?" And they're like, "Well, this doesn't really tell us. We'll have to do further testing." And so with that, with a quantum test, all it is measuring the vibrational signature of cells and the substance. So every substance has a vibrational signature and a name tag to it. And when you run this test, it's literally showing the body, that person, all these frequencies and substances, and then it will come back with a report as to what was the most stressful.
So there's a level of detail when you're talking about quantum. You're talking about hair follicles
Yeah.
that they can take these hair follicles and you can from a vibrational level determine at the detailed level what the problems are.
Yeah, so God spoke us all into existence. So at a quantum level, we're all just particles. All matter is made out of particles. We're in a particle state, there's vibrations and waves, but that's what makes us human. So essentially, when you're running a quantum biofeedback style of test, you're asking, how is this person?
Yeah.
And all of that is contained within our hair follicles.
At a level that's deeper than the blood work you're saying. And so
Yes.
obviously you test much more comprehensive with blood work and labs and things like that. But when you bring in this quantum level, it's allowing you to do what? Then create customized treatments for individuals that will handle problems that they just could not get solutions for before?
Yeah. So let's just say that you're a patient. Okay. So if you come in and you say, Christy, I really want to know my hormone levels, my vitamin D, and then I just really don't feel good. Well, for hormones and vitamin D, 100% of the time, we're going to run labs. You're not going to find that out from quantum. But to figure out what's going on at that level where you just like your labs might look optimal,
Yeah.
things might look a tiny bit skewed. And then it's like, okay, what are we dealing with? Is this a virus? Is it a pathogen? Is it a parasite? Is it a food sensitivity? Those are the things that I can show your body and be like, hey, George, what's stressing you out? And your body will then give a response and be like, it's a virus.
Wow.
And then we can go after the virus. And once you remove that obstacle from the body, the cells will then increase their energy because the body wants homeostasis.
Yeah.
It wants to heal. So if you take away the stressor, anything that's underneath that stressor will often just heal itself.
Yeah, so you really want to take a holistic approach, and other than these scenarios people go into where they're going to go, okay, I'm going to go test. I didn't find out the problem there. I'm going to go test again, do this test, that test. You're trying to take that holistic approach. So when you work with individuals, what are some of the big symptoms and things that they're coming to you with right now? What are some things you see and hear a lot?
Lots of gut issues, lots of headaches, lots of fatigue, inability to sleep, sudden anxiety for women. But the way that our model is set up is that we want to be their primary care provider.
Mhm.
So we want people to look at us and we want to take care of them like completely. So what we've done is we've created labs that you can get done. You can have those comprehensive tests, and then you can actually have this quantum test sent right to your house,
Oh, wow.
collect the hair sample, send in the report, and then layer it in. So if you've already done a lab test, a comprehensive test with somebody else, or working with another provider, you could absolutely layer in the quantum testing. It's just one more tool to show you like what might be off and what might be underlying and hiding inside the cell. People don't realize that mold toxicity and some of these things, they aren't even in your lab draws. You can't draw a blood sample and really get a full picture of that. They like to hide in the cell.
Yeah.
And so with this, you can just look at that, and then it's your entire picture of your wellness.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that is a lot of things that people are dealing with is they don't know what's wrong.
Right.
Like they can't quantify it.
Yeah.
They can't like put a finger on it. They don't know why. They just don't feel right. And I think a lot of times, especially with high achievers and individuals that listen to the show, it's like you're so in the grind. You're like, that's okay. That's part of it. In fact, it's almost a badge of honor to say, I'm just gutting it out. I'm just gutting through it. And they don't
Totally.
need to live that way, right?
No, they don't. And on the report, they're also going to see things like the nutrients that are off that maybe aren't optimal. Do you need more antioxidants? Do you need more glutamine? We do offer IVs at our office as well. And so we'll use that report and we'll start to create a cocktail for their drip with that report as well. But again, there's drip bars everywhere.
Yeah.
They can go anywhere and they can take this and they can have a much more targeted approach. And even if they don't know, like I know what glutathione does. I know why glutathione would be depleted. It could be heavy metals it'll bind to. Even if you didn't know that and you boost it, your body's going to know what to do with it because it asks for it.
Got it.
And so I am excited about empowering and teaching people and like helping people to understand. So we are offering an online group coaching for anybody that does our hair analysis. And really, that's just my way to give back. I want people to have access to this type of information, to look at their report, to know why their body maybe is depleted of these nutrients and what they could do to fix that. But again, even if you don't know and you add those back, your body knows.
Your body will know
so
what to do
much.
with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because especially in the information age, everybody is educating themselves. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about this with you because peptides, we're going to take peptides for a second. People are educating themselves and sort of self-diagnosing.
Yeah.
And then they're taking advantage of ordering peptides online and things. And so I wanted to ask you, because you're really, really super smart on this. What do you say to individuals that are working with peptides, that are ordering peptides online? That let's start by talking about what is peptides, what are they, and what is your thought on that? Because you have a couple of really interesting things we were talking about earlier.
Yes. So the engine of all matter is a cell. Okay. But the cell doesn't know what to do until something fits into a receptor site, like a hormone, or you have neurotransmitters, GABA, serotonin, dopamine. All of these are signaling to that cell and giving it direction and instruction. So there's 3 ways that we can do that: the GABA, serotonin, dopamine, hormones, and peptides.
Got it.
So they fit in like a lock and key and give information and direction. Well, what's happening is people don't understand what they're getting, first of all. And so if they're toxic, then you can, when people are buying these peptides online and they're not coming from a prescription and a pharmacy like they're intended to, they're doing research and they're full of lead, they're full of toxins, and then people are literally injecting these into their body, which bypasses your kidney and your liver and all of your body's mechanisms to protect you.
Yeah.
And so I'm scared for people. So one of the reasons that I decided to go across all 50 states is actually because of what's going on with peptides. I kept running into people that I love, and they would be like, I just ordered this from this website straight from China. And I'm like,
it's interesting.
okay.
But, peptides, so people are talking a lot about the benefits, and there's a lot of things out there. And you're right. They don't think about the idea that where are these coming from, and you are injecting them into your body. So you've got peptides like tesamorelin and BPC 157 and, TB 500 and things you hear that are very common. And so you're saying not only is it not personalized to what you have, but also you don't know really the quality. So why, and it's unregulated right now. And that's probably why, right? So what are you doing to create solutions for that?
Yeah, so we're going to educate people on the platform. People are going to meet with a provider. They're going to come from a pharmacy, credible pharmacy. And, it's just education. People are on peptides for too long. Some of them you need to cycle on and cycle off. I meet people and they aren't doing that. They don't understand why. They don't know, what they're doing, or they just know their best friend at work and they look amazing and they feel awesome.
Look amazing,
they're going to try
so
it.
let's do it.
Yeah. And then stacking them. And so making sure people just really understand like their stack and why they're doing it and when they should start and when they should stop and when you shouldn't use something.
Yeah.
And
And I think that's the other thing is that they don't take into consideration the individual. So you have an individual aspect, but you also have some individuals might be taking other products and other supplementation, and so it doesn't stack well. What are some of the biggest peptides that you are working with right now? What are the things that are really hot?
yeah, so people love anything that with the growth factor that it stimulates that. So ipamorelin, tesamorelin, samorelin, any of those. Micro dosing the GLP-1s we've have found works great for people that have inflammation, autoimmune. It's been great for them as well. And then the Wolverine stack, the TB500, the BPC. I love seeing people be active. There's no magic pill for sleep and exercise and de-stressing. And so when people are injured, 80% of people in pain are depressed.
Yeah.
So I love seeing people get back to doing what they love to do.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people that are dealing with problems, they're actually treating not the real problem.
Right.
And that's one of the issues that even in my life I found. It's like you try to and you're conditioned because of the medical industry, right?
Right.
Treat the problem, but you're
Yeah.
not really treating the problem, you're
Yeah.
treating the symptoms
Yeah.
of the problem. So you've got a big passion for this, which is why you're now going you've got the local medical center, but you are actually going national with not just the framework and the platform, but with education as well. So why do you think it's so critical for the education part, especially with the fact that everybody has so much knowledge at their hands right now? What do you do differently? What are you doing uniquely differently to help educate people?
Yeah, so everybody's going to be in the Zaire Life Coaching Collective where I hop on, other providers hop on, our coaches hop on. They can have access to people that understand the human body and can answer these questions, and they can trust us. And so I just feel like it's a really important piece. People are looking everywhere. That's why podcasts are amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody wants to be empowered and educated and be able to make an awesome decision for themselves and really understand what they're doing. We like to feel that way,
yeah,
Being
yeah,
empowered is fun.
yeah.
Education is fun. Our brain is stimulated and we know that it's anti-aging to continue to learn. So I love pouring into people.
Do you have some, maybe you have a story you can share, but do you have some ideas of, the type of results that people can see when they really start to take a more holistic approach? Because I think solving problems or pain points that they have are good, but you're starting to see individuals that their quality of life is going up and they're feeling more empowered. You use terms that are intangible, right? Like empowerment and feeling higher quality and things like this. What are some examples of people that you're working with?
I think I'm just going to use myself.
Okay.
So 10 years ago, I couldn't stop gaining weight. I have a photographic memory, but I couldn't remember a single thing. I remember that my kids wanted me to play and I didn't even have the energy to do that. Like getting up and doing small tasks just felt like such a chore. My clothes didn't fit the way that I wanted to. My hair didn't look good. My skin was full of acne. And so really being able to turn my lifestyle around and utilizing, supplementation definitely, because the way that we practice farming these days, we don't have the nutrients that we need in our food. So supplements, getting my hormones straight, exercising, sleeping 8 hours. I mean, it truly is life-changing. And then being able to get my lab work done, see the trends, see where I was moving. I was diagnosed with things like PCOS and metabolic dysfunction, where they literally said to me, you will forever have diabetes.
Wow.
I for
Wow.
sure don't. My blood sugar is like a 4.8. My insulin's like a 3.6, which is
Wow.
classically perfect.
Yeah.
But people will speak this over you. And when people don't know and they don't feel empowered, they'll just accept that life sentence of a medication or a diagnosis. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
And so it's so fun to see people, whether it is brain fog or it didn't go as far as mine did. I felt like everything was crashing around. But we have a med spa side to our business. Women love to see their skin glow and feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe men too. Men like to see their muscles grow, right?
Yeah.
They like to
Yeah.
feel good and
Yeah.
strong and have their
Feel
joints
younger,
That's
more
right.
energetic, more energy. Yeah. Right.
That's why longevity is so huge, but you can't skip over the foundational concepts. That's why I tell people, I'm like, we need your comprehensive lab so that every year we can see where you're trending.
Mm.
You don't want to just jump in and not have any of this data. I'm such a science and data nerd, and then just start these peptides and be like, oh, I feel better. What if you actually saw it in your lab work?
Yeah.
And then you started the peptides that were for your unique body and you see your labs change. And then every year you see them get better and you know exactly why you did it.
Yeah. Well, we're just at that point in the world and with information that you don't need to do trial and error as much. You could literally get some more personalized, tailored results. I really like what we're talking about. And I know we're going to do some more deep dives for clients, and I want to talk to you a lot more deeper on it. But let's just say before we take off here, if someone's dealing with chronic pain, they're dealing with overall, or even maybe they're just individuals that do not feel 100%. And
Yeah.
they're running on empty all the time. Where do they start? Like, where do you recommend that they start to get a process of being on the road to optimizing their life?
The two things that I really do feel like somebody should make the investment in themselves first is with the comprehensive lab test
Okay.
and the quantum test at least once, because then you know where your body's weaknesses are.
Yeah.
So even if you could only afford to do the quantum hair analysis one time, at least you saw that your body is struggling with heavy metals and chemicals. So then forever, you would probably know that you're not going to detoxify heavy metals and chemicals as efficiently, and you could support your body doing a detox maybe once a year.
And it puts you at least on the path, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then the other piece is that comprehensive test, because it is super important for people to be able to see and show medical professionals where they've been. It's hard for me sometimes when people come in and they're 55 and they have this huge health history, and I have no markers to ever know what optimal was for them, especially for things like hormones and thyroid. People always want to be optimal, but optimal for everyone is going to be different. So as a provider, we have to just kind of decide this is where most people feel good in the range. But there's definitely people that are lower and people that are higher, even in the functional medicine range. I know reference ranges in Western medicine and traditional, they don't apply. That's not what I'm talking about. Even in the functional ranges, sometimes people live in the higher space. I just had a client, she's 32. We did a whole panel on her. She runs crazy high. So I said to her, I was like, I need you to make a personal note to be an advocate for yourself. Down the road, a doctor would miss this. You would be at this range, and even myself, I would think it was perfect.
Yeah.
You're perfect. But because I saw this at this age, your perfect is way outside of the range, and you feel amazing and you need to stay here.
Yeah. How often do you recommend individuals get comprehensive testing?
Annually, like your annual physical.
Yeah.
That's what an annual true
Because
wellness
as you
physical
age,
should
as
be.
your situation in life changes, your stress levels, your environment, everything, a lot of things change, right?
Yeah.
But at least you have that benchmark.
And not in December.
Yeah, not in December.
January.
Why?
I
mean, I know why, but
yeah, I feel like the holidays, people just aren't the same.
throw everybody off. I mean,
Always off. I'm like, can we just do it any other time? You know, when I see my annual clients, I literally tell them, I'm like, why? What are we doing?
Yeah, but it's that New Year's resolution time,
I
right? So they're
know.
like, we got to get this done. And you're like, you're taking the worst time of
And I
year to
have
do
free
it.
time. I have 2 weeks off of work because my kids are home from school. So we're just going to get everything done. And I'm like, okay.
And their whole system's even different during that. Yeah.
I'm like, your cortisol's super high.
This is crazy. So, well, I appreciate you spending time with us. Do me a favor. What would be the best way for people to connect with you? How do they connect with you?
Yeah. So with me personally, my name, Christie Steiger on social media, and then Innovative Wellness Center. So our website is innovativewellness.center. And then Zyralife is Zyralife, ZYRALIFE.com.
I'm going to put these in the show notes. And so if you're listening to this, there'll be a bunch of different ways that you can connect. But the idea here is let's get educating people. Let's make sure that they're not just going with the latest, greatest thing that their friend, like you said, at work is using. And they look amazing, by the way, but get something tailored. And this is a conversation I think that can go into a lot of different directions. So ultimately, you don't have to settle for how you're feeling. You can optimize. There's a lot of ways to do that. I appreciate you spending time with us. And is there anything else that you want to kind of mention before we take off as well? If they're listening to this, any other thoughts or ideas that you want to share?
I mean, really, the thing that comes to my mind is something that you asked me before we started. It's, why am I doing this? And what is our big vision? I go so many places, whether it's an airplane, the airport, BA, other networking groups, just the farmer's market. And people will just come up to me and be like, hey, this is wrong. Do you think that we can fix it? And the answer is yes. And all of these tools are going to be accessible across the whole entire country.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes me happy, because people know that they're searching for themselves. They want to be that advocate, and like, where do we turn? What do we do?
Yeah.
And so this will give them that roadmap, and the body will restore itself. So if somebody's given you a diagnosis, I've seen some of the worst diagnoses completely be turned around with proper lifestyle supplementation, peptides, nutrients, but just knowing how to use them properly. And then not just like lighting your money on fire and using, because peptides aren't expensive, there's so many fun things that we can do. And so then it's targeted.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Well, I appreciate you sharing these ideas. And listen, if you're listening to this podcast, do me a favor and share the show. There's a lot of people that are out there looking for where to start, what to do. And, I say it over and over, but it's never too late to start living the life that you are meant to live, your best life, your most optimized life. But you got to get proactive about it. You do need to be an advocate for yourself. And you need to, take a more personalized approach to it. So that's my message for today. I hope you do me a favor and share this show, but also hit us up on the Daily Mastermind. Let me know what you're dealing with. I want to know the wins. I want to know what we can do to help you. And we look forward to talking with you more tomorrow. Once again, George Wright with Christie Steiger. Have a great day.